Hi, Achim here. Update number 3, Deepwater Treasure. Um, and yeah, we just like to talk a little bit more about about the project, tell you a little bit more about the details. In fact, after the store opened, um, I start to get more and more information, and obviously I want to share that with you. So in the last video, I explained that there's this 80-meter plateau, and then actually it goes down to 160, and I couldn't figure out how steep this was. And meanwhile, I had the chance to talk to a commercial diver that used to work on this deep water buoy. So what I learned from that is that the anchorage of this deep water buoy is still there and still maintained. But there's just like a marker buoy on top of it, though there's not. So these deep water anchorages or deep water buoys usually are huge. I mean, you could anchor like an oil tanker on this thing. So you can imagine that there was heavy chain. The buoy itself is like really, really big, and this is gone. So it's just a marker buoy, so they know where the anchorage is in case they want to like reuse it or whatever. But that is still there, and I will actually be allowed to put my boat on that buoy like a starting point. So I don't have to start from shore, but I can actually start from this buoy, which is great. And this gentleman told me that in his experience, he's never been deeper than 80 there, but he says the anchorage is really close to that ledge. And he said, when you're at the ledge, it actually, it's like a wall. He said there's no slope or anything to be seen. It's like abyss. It just goes down. Which is basically what I was expecting. That's not really great, but it is what it is, and it's actually good to know that up front. Yeah, I also figured out, that's an important one, I just have to shoot all the information, that I actually found out that one of these ships there was called the Ophelia, and I'm just working on it because I found 3 Ophelias there with very different histories, and I just need to figure out which one of these Ophelias have been the one, or is the one that have been in this shipping yard and that was outfitted at this deepwater anchorage. So, but that's cool information, and we'll see how that goes. So a lot of people asked me about the dive itself, and I just made a video that is called Fear in the Dark, because a lot of people commented like, yeah, balls of steel, and how do you dare, and this is so dangerous, and are you not afraid, etc. And I thought it's a good idea to talk a little bit about this fear thing, because I think there's a huge misconception making me fearless, which is not the case. But that's a separate video, because I don't want to mess up all these things in one video. So let's talk a little bit more about the dive itself. I told you it's 160 meters, and I had this funny comment where one guy was like, you can't dive to 160 meters. Like, yeah, well, you can. And it also doesn't make me like the super duper deep diver. So there's plenty of people out there, experienced technical divers, that do dives like that. So I mentioned it in, I think, the first or the second video. There's the cave divers in New Zealand that did quite a few 250 meter dives. There's the French cave diver Xavier, who did more than 300. And for example, Dr. Steffen Scholz, if you haven't heard about him, he's a German photographer that's specialized in deep wreck photography. He makes amazing pictures. I can really recommend checking that out. So I'll see if I find a link. I'll put it in the description. He also got the Dive Award at Boat Show recently for his pictures and his work. And they dove a wreck in front of Ireland, if I remember correct, at 160 meters and spent 20 minutes there doing pictures. So it's not like I'm the one that now makes this 160 meter dive. That's nonsense. So there's plenty of other people out there doing stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit of an extended bottom time most probably, and nevertheless I couldn't find a lot of information about the way they planned their dives, what they used, etc. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And so I most probably will do double rebreather setup, because in my opinion, the bailout option for a rebreather dive to 160 with considerable amount of decompression would require a minimum of 8 stages, at least in my calculation. I know there's people out there that will do it with 1 stage or with no stage or whatever, or with 4 people, everyone carrying one or something like that. But for my planning, it would be around 8 stages, and that is obviously not doable in a reasonable way. Yeah, you can dive with 8 stages, but what's the point? I mean, that's way too much task load, and you cannot move and do something, and I want to go down and probably work there if I find something. So the option is clearly double rebreather, and I will make a separate video about the double rebreather topic, because that's again too much. And before the speculation starts again, I'm not yet sure what rebreather I use. I have a couple of different options flying around and accessible, and at the moment I'm just playing around with configurations. I will probably do a couple of test dives with various configurations to see what suits me best, and then I will talk more about this in another video, and probably show you some of the things that I'm playing with, and also tell you a little bit more about the other equipment that I'm going to use on this dive. And yeah, I also wanted to say a big thank you to all of you who donated on the fundraiser. That's amazing, and I really appreciate all the donations. That's amazing, no matter how big or small they are. I really appreciate you guys doing this, and we are pretty far from the from the goal. So if you've already donated, please share this on your social media with your diving friends, and just spread word a little bit, because that's probably the limiting factor for me, at least, because obviously all of you following the channel and following the project are supporting this, but it's really hard for me to reach more people. So that would be super helpful. It was interesting to see, because so many people came back and said, like, you cannot give away the Thestis spell, this is too much, and this was such a cool project, etc. The funny thing is that these videos, and I also think that it was pretty cool. I mean, it's my most favorite project so far, but it was not viewed a lot. So if you look at the pure numbers, it's like, people do not really like that. So how to tie a bolt snap, I don't know, 250,000 views. Finding the wreck of the Thestis, 1,000 views. I'm like, probably not the not what my followers want to see. And the comments speak a total different language. And I still do these projects because I really like to do them, and I think it's cool to share them. But I just wanted to let you know that it's, for me, really weird looking at these numbers. I was like, okay, there obviously is interest, but the numbers say something different. Anyway, and then the last thing for this video is the giveaway. So I said I'll donate the first, or give away the first 3 things that I find, and if I don't find anything, I'll give away the Thestis spell plus 2 other things from my collection. And this is valid, I will do this. But on top, a lot of people ask about training. And I was like, oh, well, if that's what makes you happy, I'm happy to do that. You guys support me, I give you what you want. So I will also give away 3 individual trainings. And the reason I'm giving away individual trainings instead of classes is because now I pull the name out of the box and I give away this Cave 1 class, but that person is not even technically trained or whatever. It probably doesn't make too much sense. So if it's a day of individual training, it's up to you. I mean, you can be a sport diver and we can do whatever you want. You can be a super technical whatever diver, and we can work on something that you want to work on specifically, like check out rebreathers or whatever. So it's up to you. So you get a day with me, talking diving, training, whatever. And then that way I think that's the the most logical solution and the most rewarding one for everybody. And I'm happy to do this. So the other thing is, funny enough, a lot of people that asked for that were from the States or even further away. So we need to figure out how we do this. But yeah, I'm happy to give away this training. We just need to see how logistics work, if you want to come over here or we meet somewhere or whatever. So, but then we can figure out when we do it. I just wanted to tell you that these 3 trainings will be additionally given away to between all the people that donate on the project. So thank you very much again, and I'll get back to you soon as there's updates on the project. Take care. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.